We're live.
Whoops.
What's up?
What's up, y'all?
Yo, hey guys.
Mr. Freeze. Hey, thank you for having us, sir.
It is my honor.
Anybody ever call you Mr. Freeze growing up?
Yes, like every day.
And like a low effort nickname.
I don't even know who that is. Like I know it's like I think it's from Batman. Thing, right? Yeah. I don't know who he is or what he looks like or whatever.
He's actually cool. He's really cool. No pun intended.
Rats. Okay, what's up?
You sound a little tired, Freeze.
Do I look tired? Well, I'm about to pour some coffee, so let's do this.
Nice.
You know I love coffee, baby.
This is, for anyone listening to this, it's 8:16 p.m.
Yeah, this is a late cup.
Dude, maybe. A late press.
Bring it on, man.
That's like a hotel quality French press. Like, that's next level.
It really is, man. It's pretty cool. My mom made this mug.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That's great.
Y'all are coming live from where we've been hanging out. From
Studio A.
From Studio A and the Boys Studio A. This is where we've been recording. So let's jump right to it. We've got a new single. It's coming out. What day is it coming out? I don't even know. Just like I keep saying 1 to 2 weeks from now to my sister.
Sounds about right.
Who's y'all's biggest fan?
Yeah, I'd say probably sometime in the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
Whenever
it's not completed
yet,
we're actually probably gonna be doing some little finishing touches like right after we finish recording this. We're not totally done yet, but if the powers that be cooperate, probably in about 2 weeks.
It sounds ready to me. The last mix I heard sounded great.
We're excited. That's what our label is telling us to say, at least.
Real Sword?
Yeah. They said, guys, you need to be excited, jazzed up about this collaboration.
Dude, I just talked to them last night on the pod. We talked for over 2 hours. It was awesome. It was incredible. And we talked about them the whole time. And then afterwards, they were like, "That was exhausting." they were like, "That's the most we ever talked about ourselves in our lives." So.
They're very humble boys.
They are very humble.
They do a lot, and they don't like to claim it.
Yeah, I know exactly. We talked about y'all some. We talked about and the boys. Apparently, y'all have all known each other since college.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, apparently people are saying our name a lot on this podcast.
Apparently. Dude. Y'all are hot.
No, I think it's all positive as far as I know. I don't know. I haven't caught every episode, so maybe people are saying negative things about us as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. We heard the positive ones. That's yeah, no, people are talking about y'all. Everyone's talking about y'all. My sister is y'all's biggest fan or third biggest fan.
Yeah, third biggest fan.
Our first biggest fan is our wives and significant others.
Word.
They're tied for first. Second biggest fan is Nordista Freeze. Third biggest fan is little sister Freeze.
Older sister Freeze.
Oh my goodness, I forgot.
Yeah, dude, no, that's right.
I forgot. Wow.
A common misconception. Thank you. She will hear this for sure. So you know.
Does she like being mistaken for the younger one?
No, but I like being mistaken as the older one. So
okay.
You know, little brother energy is like going.
Well, it does not shift my fan rankings if that changes anything.
You know, I actually she is putting the pressure on me. Like I've always thought I was the biggest and the boys fan. I'm obsessed with y'all's music. But then lately I'm just in the car and she's like, "Can we listen to the new and the boys song?" I'm like, "Not right now."
We actually pay her. She's on our payroll. It's to put pressure under you.
The rankings are fluid. It's not set in stone. So
yeah, she's on my tail for sure. We both love Total Delusion. I think it's the best and the boys work yet. And that's saying something. Because I've loved everything since the original SoundCloud link that y'all sent me to play Freeze Fest 3.
You might be the only person that's heard that besides us.
Really?
The SoundCloud link, maybe?
Yeah. There's some early SoundCloud stuff I think you heard that's now private. That was recorded in one room. Is that what we sent you?
Is it still up?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's
I'm
gonna check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It is private. I see.
I mean, I can make it up, but
that would be sick. So apparently we had met one time before all the In the Boys stuff, which we talked about last night, which is that I forgot in 2013 we played a show together at The End
Yeah.
And you were the leader of a band called Mind Not the Timid. And I was in a band called Joseph Marlowe.
Yes. That was crazy.
Did you guys talk that night?
Like a little bit. I remember talking in the parking lot. I remember meeting you. And everybody, you had like all these members of your band were all like practicing their like brass instruments.
That was an intimidating crew.
We were running like 12 deep in that band. There was a lot of people to keep track of.
It was insane, dude.
Yeah, it was fun. Did you play with us?
Yeah, I was going to say, was Aaron there?
No, I wasn't in that band. I did actually play one show with you guys, but it wasn't that one. Okay. One time when we were in college together, we like left over a weekend or something to play a show with your band. Like I learned the songs that day or something at Rocketown.
Nice.
No way. Y'all played at Rocketown?
Oh yeah, that was like our.
That's the only time I've ever been there.
Yeah, that was like, we only played like 6 shows probably, but it was a battle of the bands at Rocketown and we won.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, this was your return performance when I was playing. Like it was the next year, so like the winner got to play. From last year got to play a longer set, so that's right. What the show was.
Dang, dude.
If anyone wants to hear some like bad renditions of Arcade Fire, like in really poor quality, you can find that at Mind Not the Timid.
It was.
We're dropping some nuggets on this podcast for
right off the bat, dude.
Who knows if anyone listening is the type of person that's going to like go dig this stuff up. I don't know if people are interested in this, but for those
I think they are.
These are some deep nuggets.
This is for the super fans.
Yeah, Bryce talked about that and we both saw Bryce's episode, and I loved his bit about how you're like capturing this really specific moment in history. And if for whatever reason someone is interested in any of us, this is like a treasure trove of just like lore and stuff.
Dude, they have to be. They will. They already are. I think more people are listening to this than I really can even fathom. It's been cool. Not like not like virality, but just just like even if like 10 to 20 people listen to it, I'm like, who are y'all? I'm like, what inspires you to listen to this? That's so awesome. It's so encouraging. And I think there are just a lot of people who want to hear like the people I'm bringing on don't really necessarily get a space to do like long form interviews much or like really just talk about. Like I think the only interviews I've ever done have been like 2-minute YouTube segments, so it's cool to like get to talk more. And there's like a bunch of it's fun for me because there's a bunch of holes in all the narratives and all the stories for me that I'm piecing together. Like whenever last night when I recalled that you were even the person who did that band, that blew my mind. The person that I'm like writing alongside and like putting out my next single with is like was doing like a folk band alongside my folk band. I think that's just very crazy to me. I remember that night we went to you guys took so long to set up that we went to Cafe Coco and got some coffee, and then we came back and I remember it was like 12:30 or something. It was
when you guys went on?
No, when y'all went on. I just remember the night went on for so long. I think you guys overwhelmed the sound guy.
That would make sense. That also feels like I feel like if you go to a show at the end, it's supposed to be like that. That's like part of the experience of seeing a show.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that is very true. I just had all of my the end shows flood back.
For that performance, it really was like probably 12 people. Robin J actually played with us at that show too.
Yeah, apparently so. That's what's crazy to me. Was that like that project was formed in college? So y'all were mainly gigging in like Jackson? Was there like a scene there where there people play at Barefoots?
It started in high school, and so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like my last year of high school is when I started it, and so all the people were from Franklin. So we kind of did like if it was like a Franklin or Nashville thing, we would get together and do that. But most of the career was when I was in college, but it started in high school.
Well, wait. So you're from Franklin originally?
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so did you do any bands or any music before?
In high school?
Yeah.
Like no. There weren't a lot of band. I went to Page High School. Not a big band scene.
Right.
There's probably like 1 or 2 like hardcore bands like at all times, but beyond that, I don't really remember anything that cool. I mean, the hardcore bands were actually really cool, but anything that I'd be into now.
Wait, and did y'all know each other? Or
no, we've been in college. I'm from St. Louis. Really? St. Louis, like in a suburb called Eureka. That's where Six Flags is.
Yeah, totally, dude. I've been there about Eureka. I've been to Six Flags.
It's a pretty small town, but that's like what it's known for, and it's like flooded a couple times recently.
Oh man, really?
As a result of like flooding, it won like best small town in America a couple years ago.
As a result?
Well, like the town, like
what?
Okay.
I guess.
The camaraderie after the.
Yeah, right.
That's so cool. Connecting the dots a little bit more. So we met in college at Union University in Jackson, Tennessee, which is also where we met Rob and Jay. So that's the connection.
And Noah.
Yeah, and Noah.
Right. So Noah went there as well.
Me and Noah were in a band in college.
Really? What band?
It was called Pseudo Shark. That's definitely on Bandcamp.
Can we hear the elevator pitch for Pseudo Shark?
Elevator pitch? I don't know. How would you describe it? You were like a third party.
I guess like
actually you played at least one show. Yeah, that's true.
Probably like math emo rock.
Yeah, it was like I'd say it was like
no way,
like
dude.
Emo and indie rock influenced, like a little bit in like the Death Cab for Cutie space, I'd say.
Cool, yeah.
My favorite band at the time was Foals. So it's a lot of like riffing and like two guitars like playing riffs at the same time and stuff like that.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wait, you also had maybe like an electronic or an ambient project, maybe, or you have one now?
Yeah. I used to do solo stuff under the name Midwestern Accent, which I just now do under my name, Aaron Parke.
Cool.
But yeah,
he put out an EP recently.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about the past right now.
Okay.
The distant past.
We are, dude. We're back.
So it was like a little bit more like, kind of like electronic indie pop stuff. It's kind of come full circle in a way because, I mean, it wasn't quite the same, but I was doing some similar sounds and stuff to what And the Boys just now with like drum machines and synths and auto-tune and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's all on SoundCloud too.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. You're the most prolific person I know, I think. I think Aaron specifically, with your between your musical output with And the Boys, solo work, other collaborative projects, and then your endless stream of TikToks that you just continue to make.
We don't have to plug that out on the show.
I mean, I just think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that y'all both have like the ability to make so much music. Then you're just like making other stuff on the side, as well as doing all the other things y'all do.
That's not Brady's full musical history, like even in college either, though.
Yeah, I actually was in another band with Rob and Jay.
Yeah, they were in a really cool
like Flying Colors.
No, I did play with Flying Colors, but this was another band that with a couple other guys that was like I don't know, like synth soul, like I don't know, kind of retro.
It was like funky, like sort of 80s-ish, like
cool
type stuff. It was really cool. That was like one of the most popular bands at our school too, I'd say.
Well, yeah. So Jackson's
drove people
not
crazy
town,
with the song
right?
called Clouds.
Yeah. So tell us your experience of Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you played there?
I want to hear it from like someone that's not lived there or gone to Union.
Well, my experience is, I guess, unique in the fact that I'm like always trying to DIY tour everywhere. So any town anywhere nearby, like even Jackson, is gonna attract me. Where a lot of people might skip over it if they were just like trying to do big tours. But I'm like, dude, Jackson is sick. Like I bet there's a whole scene there. There's like, I knew Freed was close by because my mom went to Freed and my grandparents met at Freed.
Oh.
So my grandparents used to live in Henderson. When I was growing up. When I started doing music, I got connected. Let's see. I guess my first introduction to a scene beyond playing for my friends at Freed was through Anthony Merriweather of Mild Mag.
Oh yeah.
And
yes.
He was helping me. Yeah, he would help me do stuff downtown at my friend Denver had this like bookstore in downtown, and the Skeleton Crew, those cats would like play, and we'd play like inside this tiny bookstore and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And then actually this is a good thing to mention right now, is that I didn't know Rob and Jay very well, but I set up a show with the Skeleton Crew at this like defunct music venue that had turned into like a Young Life youth room or something. It's called like Bandstand. And when we played, I got Rob and Jay to open because I had heard that they like were from there or something, could like pull a crowd. So Rob and Jay open up, and when I get there, they start playing, and I think song 1 or 2, they were like, "Wait a minute, honey, in it for the money," and I start freaking out because I was like, "They know And the Boys, like that's an And the Boys song." I never thought, like, what are the odds? Just some other local band. I don't even know who these guys are. I just like playing And the Boys. I remember like I was just like
That's
on
a
the
very
front
weird
row,
experience.
just like cheering. Yeah, it was.
That's
and then
awesome.
I'm looking back, can understand a little bit more about how y'all are all from there and how y'all are tight.
Yeah.
And even learning last night, it's cool to have these kind of back to back because I didn't realize y'all both, I guess, had projects at this school at Union, which that were like involving a ton of members, right? Like Flying Colors of the time had Robin J's band had an ongoing, just like massive amount of people.
It was like there was like 20 people at Union total when we were there that you could count on like to be in a band, and then we would just morph and evolve, and like different people would join together and work on a certain project. It was a strangely creative space.
There was one more band that like pretty much everyone we've mentioned so far was all in like the last year that we were there, called Economo. Which I don't think there's any recordings of that, unfortunately, which is kind of surprising since that was like later in the timeline that we didn't record anything. But that was a fun band. That was cool. Like a 9-member band, I think, or something like that. we probably performed.
I downscaled it a little bit.
That's crazy.
I was playing the drums in that band.
Like full kit?
Yeah. Like
actually, I was playing like auxiliary percussion, and you're playing full kit.
No way.
Very amateurishly, but
that's crazy.
A lot of fun.
Do you think that was just because of the time? Like even Zach Swan, like at Lipscomb, he had a band called Huckleberry Caulfield and the Mason Jars, and they had like, they had like 9 members.
That's awesome.
And maybe it was just like the spirit of like Edward Sharpe or like
there's a lot of
the Arcade Fire. Yeah, there's just like all these like bands that are just like massive in the indie scene. Or maybe it's just a college like. It's just easier in college, just be like, hey, everybody's invited. Let's make something happen on campus. That's cool.
Well, we were probably trying to cram as many friends in as possible,
just to make it more fun.
That was our last year at the school, so it was almost kind of like a going away thing. I felt like let's have a band with everybody together. Like we've done these different combinations. But
and for example, we made like one of our friends who was never in any of the bands. We made him the lead singer of this like final band that we had.
Of Economo?
Awesome.
Economo,
yeah. His name's Wyatt, and he was awesome as the front man of Economo. It was really cool.
How did these bands exist? Like, because there's not a lot of places to play in Jackson, right? So how do you create a scene? Was it just playing at Barefoot's, or was there other places to play?
You play at Barefoot's. You play at like dorm or house shows.
The smaller basketball gym on campus.
Cool.
We played pretty much exclusively on campus. Pseudo Shark played in Memphis sometimes, like at venues there, like at the New Daisy a few times. There were like some bars and stuff that have shows sometimes in Jackson. I don't know. I think there's probably more of a scene now than there was then, at least that we were connected to.
Interesting.
We're pretty much stuck on campus.
And I don't know if it might be a chicken or in the egg situation, but we've never really been into touring at all. Like, I guess just because it just wasn't a priority for us. We were like, we just want to make music. And I think that kind of became a habit and like boiled over into And the Boys, because we don't tour. Like we play shows, but we've
hardly ever even like discussed it.
Yeah, I remember trying to push it on y'all a lot, like probably in 2018, like a couple of years ago, being like, or when I was first meeting y'all, I was like, do y'all want to tour? Like I could help y'all with this. And I remember I remember talking to you, Aaron, like, and Noah, and y'all being like, yeah, like that could be cool. I don't know. We're all pretty busy. Like we have jobs and we're like married and like, I don't know. I began to understand that wasn't really in y'all's deck. Yeah.
Not at this time. I think it's just like it's so hard to get us together at one point. So like whenever we find those hours, it's just a lot more satisfying for us to make music together. Because I feel like that's my favorite part about it is like the making something new with other people.
Right.
And I like playing shows, but like I'm not trying to do that first, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's interesting thinking about Mighty Not the Timid and then like hearing about all these different projects, because I do think of And the Boys as being a band and a collective of people that continue to reinvent themselves and kind of like are always willing to adapt, you know, like even looking back at when I first heard your SoundCloud link or even like your first songs on Spotify, your sound has changed a lot over the course of that time, but not really like song by song a little bit. But then like if you went from your first single to what your Total Delusion, like it's a pretty big step.
It's
like
big jumps.
Yeah. And sure. So, and thinking about all the other bands you've had in the past, I guess, is that just the nature of how y'all like to do it? Just keep staying fresh and making new sounds and just being willing to change whenever you want?
Yeah, I think we're definitely kind of leaning into that now. Like, part of it is just like the present moment, like allowing for that. I feel like just like the way like people consume music now, like I just feel like they kind of don't care or even like variety.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, we've always like been interested in a lot of different sounds, and it's been like, I guess we've been a band for like 4 years now, 4 or 5 years or something. I think 4 years. So it's been a fairly long time. Like we've changed like what we listen to a lot, like changed a lot as people in that time. So
yeah,
it just changes up. And yeah, like we don't really worry about like sticking to like what we feel like our sound is supposed to be. We just like make like what we want to make, I guess. And
that makes sense.
Let that show the change over time, I guess.
Have we told you like how we started in the boys?
No.
You want to tell? I'll mess up the details.
So when we first started, semi-ironically, the only goal was to like be played on Lightning 100. Like I say semi-ironically because it was like ridiculous, but also I was like new to town and like thought it was so cool that Nashville had an indie station, which I still do.
Yeah.
But I was like really like hyped on it. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna like try to make a band like suited to that sound and like try and get involved with this. And then I don't know.
Well, you he posted on Facebook or on Craigslist.
To find
yeah. Band members.
Yeah. So Noah was like I was living with Noah at the time. Both still bachelors, and he was like in on the idea of this. So that was like one band member. But then I was like posting on Craigslist, like I knew me and Brady were both living like in Nashville and like still friends and hanging out and stuff. But I just assumed that he would not be interested in playing this type of music. Like I was going for like a pretty like straight up the middle, like indie rock, which I was pretty into at the time.
Yeah.
And I just didn't think Brady was really. So
right.
I didn't really like ask him about it. So I was like posting on Craigslist, just like jamming with random people. And for the most part, it was like, I mean, obviously didn't end up like forming a band with any of them, but it was mostly like pretty cool experiences, like nice people, like cool. Met some different people and stuff.
Wow.
We were actually playing with a different singer though, the first time that Abe and Brady came. So then I like met Abe.
I was just playing keys, right?
Yeah.
I was just playing keys. I wasn't even singing.
Whoa. So like after I'd been playing with Noah and the singer that we met on Craigslist a couple times and like writing some songs, like in the very early stages of writing, I met Abe, and then like probably like the next time I saw him, like I think I went to a party at his house after that, like mainly for the purpose of like, I'm going to ask this dude about playing drums in this band I'm starting. Because I was really in like starting a band mode. Like you probably know what I mean. Like
totally.
Those parts in your life where you're without a band, but you're like focused on starting the next band. So you're like partly like thinking in social situations like, all right, how am I going to create my next band off of this? Or like, who can I be recruiting?
yeah.
But I knew that he played drums and he seemed cool. And I liked his band. That's my kid that he was in. So I asked him about it.
Band's awesome.
He was like, yeah, I'm in, even though we didn't really know each other very well. So I had Abe come into the next practice. And then I had mentioned like all this stuff to Brady when I just saw him or something. And he was like, oh, I'd totally be interested in being in that band. I was like, oh, cool. So then he came to the session. So we've got 5 of us there, the 4 of us in and the boys, and then this Craigslist singer. Ended up not working out with that guy. I mean, he was like a friendly guy and everything, but we kind of just like mutually agreed like we're trying to do different things musically. So I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, but that's partially why we're called And the Boys and why we settled on the name. Because we were like, we lost our singer, so it would have been like his name and the boys. So now we're just And the Boys.
Yes, dude.
Was part of it. I mean, I don't remember all the calculations.
They never wanted me to be the lead singer.
Yeah, but then after that, we split ways with that guy. We were like, well, we already have Brady, so perfect.
It really is perfect. Before, so. I had no idea, Brady, that you weren't like a start of the band. So it was all your idea, Aaron.
That's probably the most thorough explanation we've ever given of that. Freeze, probably nobody in the world cares about that as much as you as well. We've never told that to anyone before.
Whatever, man. They if they don't already, they will soon, man. Especially once this new song comes out, people are going to be scouring the internet for information.
Do you want to tell them the name? I don't think we dropped the name before.
Yeah, The Moment, parentheses, with you. That's what we're going with, right?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
If you're cool with it.
I'm cool with it. I like it.
All right, we'll send you a contract.
Should we play the people a clip? We could play like a 3-second clip from the song or something.
How?
Yeah, that could be cool.
Let's do it. Just a teaser.
Yeah, just a little teaser.
While you're talking, I'll just pull this up.
I performed it on a live stream. Did y'all see that?
You did?
Yeah.
You performed it?
How?
I just played it on acoustic guitar.
For what live stream?
Like before
on Instagram?
Yeah, like 2 days ago, I played for a pillow. I got this pillow on Instagram. If I would go onto their account and play some songs, and then I also did it the night before on a different live stream. But the
Wait, what?
Is someone else's account that you're
pillow with an Instagram account?
Yeah, this pillow brand was like, if you'll play like a 30-minute set, we'll send you a free pillow, and like on their account. So I would have felt weird if I had like, I've never want to be like a brand ambassador. At least at this point, I feel kind of weird about it. But like going on their account and doing it, I was like, sick. And I've never had a good pillow. I have a.
Is it a nice pillow?
Yeah, it's really nice.
That's awesome.
It's actually really cool. So anyway, but yeah, I got to play a little bit of it. I couldn't do your verse though. But your verse is insane. This is a new side. I've never heard you go full auto-tune like feature like this.
Yeah, I dipped into it in Total Delusion a little bit, but
yeah,
it just felt right for this track. Spoiler.
I can play a quick little
wait, why don't you just play the very beginning?
I was just gonna play like a little chorus snippet.
Okay, if you've made it this far, you deserve to hear this.
It's gonna be short.
Totally, dude. Totally.
Is that audible?
Yeah, now we got it. Kind of. No, now it's gone.
Oh well.
There we go.
That's all you get.
Yeah, dude. It sounds so good. It like came in and out, but then you heard just.
That's perfect.
You heard ATB with the BGVs, dude. Dude,
little tech kids are gonna rip the audio from the stream and leak it on Pirate Bay.
They are, dude. On Pirate Bay. Dude, I used to use Pirate Bay so much, man. I've probably downloaded. I would love to see the like amount of music I've stolen, like how much money I owe. You know what I mean? Probably like $10,000.
Downloading like when you're into what is that called? Torrenting.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of music were you into at that point in your life?
So I think I can tell it pretty quickly. So I was into Christian music until.
Wait, how old were you?
Until middle school. So I wasn't torrenting.
I thought you were going to say you were stealing Christian music on Pirate Bay.
Okay, I don't think I ever did that. That was an interesting thing to think about. And then I got into Daft Punk, and then that kind of like rocked me for until 7th grade.
In middle school?
Yeah, in 5th grade and 6th grade, I was listening to a lot of like Daft Punk, Justice.
Very advanced.
That's cool. Oh, I love Justice.
Like Animal Collective and like Black Moth Super Rainbow, stuff like that. So, but then
in middle school?
Yeah, I was like in 5th grade because my older brother like just gave me a bunch of stuff. So I just
well, kids with older brothers have advantages with this sort of thing. We're both the oldest children.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It actually is a primo advantage.
Nobody was there to show us the way with music.
Yeah, right. Well, he gave me some of that stuff, and then he would get out of it, and he'd be like, this is kind of, I don't actually like that. And then I'd be like, oh, cool. And I would dig in deeper, and then
just like handing you CDs.
Yeah. Or I would even find them in the trash sometimes. And,
that is awesome.
And then the Avid Brothers changed me in like the summer after 6th grade. I got Emotionalism, and that's still probably my favorite record of all time.
That was one of the gateways for me.
Mm-hmm. Man, that album was powerful. And then I think in high school, I just got more into like indie. I finally began to like understand maybe more like culturally what was going on. I wasn't just like throwing myself into like a specific artist or genre. I was like interested in like indie music, like mainly Of Montreal. I went really hard into Of Montreal. And so on. So when I was torrenting, I was just torrenting discographies by indie bands, really. just be like, oh, all 10 albums by Bell and Sebastian or whatever.
Oh, nice. They're like mistitled. You have to like retitle them and stuff.
Yes, dude. And
Bell and Sebastian was one of my first ones too. That was like a hand-me-down CD.
Really? Do you remember which album? If You're Feeling Sinister, no. Dear Catastrophe
Probably,
Waitress.
That's the first one sounds familiar. I would recognize the art more than I would recognize the album title.
Right. Well, that's actually an interesting thing to talk about because I feel like that being in like high school really was when I was getting super into that, like torrenting and like, so like middle school and high school, like the idea of the album grew really strong as like a fundamental thing, which, because we've talked a lot about like albums and stuff like that. I guess that's when that became, so when I was first starting to make music, I was thinking that I should make albums because that's all I listened to. And to me, you understood an artist by the albums that they made and like the story it told. And then like, that's what I did up until like 2015. I put out Space Travel, and that was when I graduated from high school, and then Cosmic House. And then after that, I kind of have just entered into the unknown of, and I feel like it's just changing before my eyes. And meeting y'all
drift with us, brother. Drift.
Yes, y'all have been a beacon of light. I feel like y'all are just like leading the way, just like going into the fog, being like,
we might be leading the way, but we don't know where we're going.
We'll lead you away into the ether.
But y'all keep doing it right. It keeps working. Like y'all just, I don't know a single band that puts out music like at a healthier and more just like exciting rate than y'all. Like y'all just like keep doing it perfectly.
It's very kind of you.
It's true. I just look forward to it. I'm like, oh, a new And the Boys song. And then I'm like, man, I listen to every And the Boys song and like listen to them all the time. So I guess that means that they are like doing something right. You know what I mean?
Cool. Well, that's good to hear.
Glad you think so.
We'll keep it up.
We're just doing what's fun, I think. It's just like even more the mindset that brought us away from touring and just doing like local shows and like writing music is what we've just distilled that even further. And now we're just like, we can't write enough new music. We're just like, that's all we want to do is just like write new music.
Yeah.
Well, that's like when I first started making music, that's how it was. And I've slowly drifted away
from that.
Because
your early albums had like a lot of songs, didn't they?
I would make albums like all the time in middle and high school. I was just pumping out music. Like I would just do it all the time. And then I slowed down, I think. And it's like for the last 5 years, I've been kind of slow. Like I've put out a couple albums and then some singles. And it's like, why did I slow down so much? I don't really know. I think I just got really nervous and like kind of was just reverted to like that model that I grew up around, which was like bands would take 3-ish years to make 10 songs, like 45 minutes of music, and then they would go back and start the process again. And I think a lot of people still release music like that, but it doesn't really seem like it's the way that people are consuming it anymore. At least that's not even how I'm consuming it.
That's true. Yeah.
I listen to a fair amount of albums.
Really?
I still like.
We were just talking about this. Aaron has a very disciplined music listening habits. Like he has a regimen.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, I'm typically just like listening to what I want to listen to, but I'm just kind of like always on the hunt, I guess, for new stuff. And if I hear a couple songs that I like from an artist, I like having an album to dig into for sure. But I mean, I would like to make albums still, but for one thing, it just takes a long time.
It's just a lot.
And like we'd rather just like not sit on the music. I mean, we're getting faster now, but if we had like waited till we had an album's worth of songs with like the first 10 songs that we put on Spotify, it would have been like years. So
right. And you wouldn't have been able to have like adapted as much as artists because you would have been like, well, this doesn't sound like Hate You Now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we would have waited all that time and then had a group of songs that like don't really like sound like each other.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Not to mention like so much in music culture changes in 3 years time at this point in time. Like
right. That's so true.
Releasing your album, like it could be the most like mind-blowing, groundbreaking album ever, but if you're not going to release it for 3 more years, then you've like lost your moment and that you could be in a completely different world of like taste and trends and stuff.
Wow. I guess that is true. Maybe culture is moving faster to where it's like dangerous to wait that long. I don't know.
Maybe. Or people
really
just don't have as big of advances from their labels to like spend a year writing, you know? They're like,
right.
We need some songs.
Yeah. I'll say too, on the idea of like listening to full albums, I do still like that is still how I consume music. Like today I was listening to a really cool song and I clicked on the artist, clicked on the album, went through about half of it. And then I was like, this isn't really my thing. But maybe if it had been, I would have kept listening.
Yeah.
I think that the idea of having a set of songs is still something that people dig, but I don't know if 45 minutes is like an amount of time that most people are still willing to give, like, which we have talked about at Baja the other day about like, if we personally have like that much time in a day that we want to like devote to listening to music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of, and there's so much new music all the time that it's like you really have to almost be picky with what you spend your music listening time listening to. So like you can either like go with a artist that you think you're going to like and just like listen to a bunch of singles and see if you like any of them, rather than just taking a chance on the whole album. It might be a waste of time by the end of it.
Yeah, right. That
sounds
very
really
true.
cold to say, but there's some really good music out there. You don't want to miss it.
Well, and like curation is getting stronger. Like it's like, I mean, back in the day, I wouldn't go to a CD store. I was never interested in like buying a compilation CD or like a mixtape of like artists on a label. I always wanted to buy the album. But nowadays it's like, well, I could just like check out this playlist or like it's there's endless ideas. Like I can go to, like I have a playlist right now. It's like what Kurt Vile gave his band in the studio to listen to. You know, it's like, that's like a collection of things I'm listening to. So it's like the idea of what it means to listen through something is like changing. And there's just you're right. There's so many bands now and anyone can upload anything. And the playing field is level, but that makes it almost harder to like pick someone's
it's kind of cutthroat.
Yeah.
I also think that's like, because it's so cutthroat, you have to have a lot of trust with your audience that they're going to like really dig if you're going to work on a full album. Like today I did listen to a full album, which is a little bit rare for me, but it was Tyler the Creator's newest album, Igor.
Right. Yes.
It's just like, it has to be like a work of art like that for you to listen to a full album now. And it's just like, he can trust his audience because he has a massive following. He's like, I can do what I want and I can do it for 12 songs and like people are going to love it.
That's true. Once you reach like that level and you have the money and you have like the industry is like giving you advances and you've got the fan base waiting, I think then there might actually be reason to like be like, I'm going to hold off a little bit and then show you all this big thing I've been working on.
Yeah. And there's also a streaming benefit to like a lot of pop artists release like 24 song albums, just because like the more you can land on playlists, that's just like multiplies your stream count. And for them, it's millions.
Right.
So
when it's that long, people use the album like a playlist and just like click play and let it play for like 2 hours in the background or something like that.
Right. Do you guys think, we talked about this a little bit before once, do you guys think that an artist can put out too many songs? Like, is it, with the way that Spotify and like streaming works now, if a song doesn't float, then it just sinks and then it's like in the bottom of your list somewhere. But like, I feel like it's gone back to like the 50s where you could just like put out a song and if it flopped, they'd be like, well, whatever, we'll just.
Yeah, that is how people talked in the 50s.
Yeah, exactly, right. It's like it's not like it's like on one of your albums and it's like, well, that album was not very good, I guess we'll have to wait 3 more years, and then by then it's been 6 years since the artist put out music you like, and then you're just like, I don't like this band anymore. Nowadays you can just throw stuff, I feel like, just see if it works.
I
don't know, I feel like as long as the quality is consistent, like I don't think I've ever been mad about getting too much music, as long as I felt like it was like good music that was like true to what the artist was wanting to make and not like skeptically just cranking stuff out like a sausage mill or something.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Yeah, is that what we are?
I don't even think there's really like a better way to do it. Like I think there's still like music listeners that will listen to albums if that's what you want to do, especially if you're making like unified projects. But I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I think there's also a lot of people like me and probably like all of us that like, I like a lot of artists that just like feed you a single like every couple months and like keep it coming with fresh stuff. Like that's fun.
You want that slow drip IV of Tori Wong.
But I also like those album artists that just release like an album every 2 years. Like I like consuming it both ways. So
that's true.
Kind of like the way that you want to make it and like, you know,
right. And also we're just talking in terms of like keeping someone's attention, whereas like we're not even, you and I feel like we're not projects or an artists that like think about things in terms of money.
Yeah.
So like there is like the idea of like gaining streams could like somehow add to profit. But I think some of my friends I know who work on albums, like the Arcadian Wild, Jack Thompson, Ella Mine, they foster like through their like house show touring and through their like albums, they kind of do the like Patreon, like the Kickstarter game to where it's like they raise a bunch of money, go into the studio, create a body of work, and it's already been bought by like 200 people because it's been back. They send it out. So for them, it's like the album is the way that it's funded, because if they were just like, hey, give me some money to make another single, nobody would. Like people want to be involved in this like album cohesive idea.
I think that's probably due to their vision. Like all those acts that you mentioned, they like have their thing and they're just like doing it. And so they're killing it with those things. So they're like, they already know exactly what it's going to be. Their fans know exactly what it's going to be. They're like, of course I'll help you make that. Like, I know I'm going to like it. You're killing it every time. We're not as confident in who we are, I think.
Successful artists have a whole different range of options open up that we don't have access to. Things like funding albums and things like that.
Yeah, that's true, man.
You're talking like about musicians.
I think Patreon is one that like you really have to have a fan base to jump into, but could be like a cool way. Like I saw Of Montreal just started one. You know, they've been in the game for decades, but it's like they have a huge fan base and they're like, yeah, this is going to be a good way for us since we can't tour to just like, and they have so many super fans so they can like give them old songs and demos and like videos that are never before seen, and people eat it up, you know.
I really like the Patreon model. It's cool.
I do too. I think that it could like be something that I would be interested in doing one day. I just feel like I'm not anywhere near that yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure it's a lot of work too. Like, cause you're really on a schedule then.
Right. Yeah. And it's all of the things you're creating are for a specific group of people. So you're really like, I think you have to be sure that like
they're stakeholders basically.
That's worth doing. Yeah. Right. But inverse, like if you put all this work into something that not the whole world gets to see, then I feel like it might be hard to keep growing your fan base. It's almost like a way of being like, y'all are who I'm going to make music for now. You can still do both, but it's got to be exhausting to try to like be growing as well as like feeding this like core group, unless you're just like really know what you're doing.
I think you have to have a lot of time to commit to it to do it right.
Yeah, right. For sure. Do you guys so did y'all all used to work together or with Rob and Jay? And I know Noah works. Y'all all work for like a candle company or something?
Yeah, me and Noah and Jay worked at a candle company and a couple other companies in one building. And Noah still works there.
Noah's the only one left?
Yeah, he's the sole survivor.
What do you do, Aaron?
I'm a web developer.
Really?
But, yeah. Yep. Pretty nerdy job, but you know.
That's cool. And then Brady, you're unemployed, right?
Yeah, I look for jobs for a living.
That's awesome, dude. That's
Read news about the pandemic.
He said that with a smile on his face. Brady, you're unemployed, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot for reminding me.
That's pretty sick. Well, I kind of hope that I like to hear that you're unemployed because that means I'm going to get more art. You know, I'm hoping that you guys will all be unemployed and then just take the jump.
That probably is part of why we were able to get Total Delusion like completed so quickly.
Right.
Quarantine gave us a lot of time to collaborate.
Yeah. Do you, I mean, do y'all ever see a future where like you could be just doing music, or is that like a fantasy to y'all? Because I feel like y'all are very realistic or almost skeptical of like doing music professionally.
Yeah. We're not sellouts, dude.
Whatever.
We just know our worth.
But it's not. But y'all are like y'all are one of my favorite local bands. But every time I talk to y'all about it, it's like more like, well, you know, we got to keep our jobs, and you know, we're not gonna. It's like I don't know.
I use the recycling bin on my computer as our DistroKid wallet. It just goes straight in the recycling bin.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd say we're realistic about it. I mean, for me personally, I don't ever like bank on having a career in music. Like, I feel like if I ever were to like do music as a full-time thing, then my path is through like dropping a bunch of music, like hopefully like getting some streaming numbers on that, accumulating from that, live shows, like maybe like helping people record, royalties, that kind of thing. Like, I feel like it would have to be like an accumulation of lots of small amounts of success. Like one song that gets played in these playlists and continues to generate streams, like writing this song, like helping a person co-write this where I get like part of the royalties from that or something like that. Like I feel like that would be my personal path if that were ever to happen. But
so not just like ATB, like world stardom. That's not in the books.
I mean, that would be rad if it happens.
You're just like, I'm not gonna shoot for that, or
that would be like that would be like part of the formula. Like I would still be hoping to do like solo stuff, doing the boys, but just like having like, I mean, I think that's like part of why we have so many like irons in the fire, like in all these different projects, is just like the hope of either one of them taking off or like the accumulation of all of them having like small amounts of success, like amounting to more.
You're starting to see why we named our EP what we did.
Total delusion.
I'm describing my best case scenario, and I said that was my only possible path.
Oh, okay.
No, dude. Well, I think it's realistic.
I said if it were ever to
don't
happen.
sell yourself short.
I believe
you
in y'all.
see this? He calls me delusional 1 minute, then he tells me not to sell myself short.
Yeah, what's going on?
We've always had beef.
We play the mind games. It's creatively stimulating.
Y'all playing volleyball a little bit. So okay, I want before we keep going, I've got some questions for y'all. So these are from my sister.
Okay. Number 3 fan. Oh, by the way, I was going to say earlier, like I said, the leaderboards are fluid for And the Boys fandom. So if you feel you are a particular fanatic, let us know what you've done, why you should be on the leaderboard.
Oh, we can challenge a hold.
And Gail, if these questions are questionable,
these questions can move you up or down in the standings.
We don't want we want softballs over here.
No hot seat questions.
Okay, number 1, have you guys ever played Super Mario Sunshine?
Yes. That's a cool game. I never beat it. I had it on GameCube, but it was a beautiful game.
I think I've only played that in the waiting room in my orthodontist office, but very enjoyable, and I always wish that I could keep playing it when I went home.
Super Mario Sunshine is like the video game version of this song we're about to put out with you.
Oh, yeah. That's
I like that. Which is to say like a summertime sunshine kind of song.
Like a splash zone.
It's fun. It's Technicolor.
Yeah.
It's Italian.
It's plumbing themed.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Lots of slugs.
I wish we could speak Italian. Okay.
Next question. Do you guys like Family Force 5?
Yes.
I do, yeah.
I
wasn't as big a fan as Brady was, but I had probably 3 songs on my Sansa MP3 player that I played quite often. Probably the 3 most popular songs.
I saw them live here in Nashville, but that was Love Addict by them was my very first ringtone.
Whoa, where did you see them play?
I think Bridgestone or whatever it was called then, Gaylord Entertainment Center, I believe. It was for Winter Jam or something. It wasn't just
Nashville history. I wasn't even
Winter Jam, yeah, for sure. I saw them play at Toby Mac's Winter Wonder Slam. That was like the first concert I ever went to.
Wait, is that the same thing?
No, they were a little bit different. They're both like Christmas Christian tours, but
did they go on in the same years? Winter Jam and Winter Wonder Slam?
Yeah.
Oh,
Two different
Christians to Winter Jam sometimes.
Okay, maybe that was more of a conference
Winter Jam still happens. Winter Wonder Slam, it happened a couple of years in Allen Arena. And yeah, I remember seeing Toby Mac and Family Force 5, and it changed me, dude.
Wait, maybe I was there. Maybe it was that show that I'm thinking of. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Wow, we traced it back even further now.
That's crazy. We got to dig into that later.
We do. Okay, next question. Which song are y'all most excited about on Total Delusion? That's a good question.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. I have I've swung back and forth a lot of what was my favorite between the process of writing them, but I think And the Boys is probably my favorite. Now there's some Total Delusion for you. My favorite song is the self-titled one, self-referential one.
Yes, dude. I think that song is brilliant. Just the whole idea of that song is just so.
It is kind
good,
of like
dude.
essence of And the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it sums us up well. It's just a fun one, kind of funky. I had never thought about this before, but my friend. Oh, this is another band nugget I can give you too. My friend Ricky Montgomery, who's a musician, much more successful than we are. He's on the viral charts right now, Spotify viral charts, because he has a TikTok song.
Whoa.
a song that's gone like, I don't know what it even is. Like,
it's from like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's one of his older songs, but I don't know what the thing is on TikTok. Like, I guess there's some kind of trend associated with it where it's like blown up on TikTok.
Everyone's just using it as a sound.
But anyway, he said that And the Boys reminded him of The Lonely Island, which I've never thought of before, but that like in some ways that like kind of is like, I'm not even like a huge fan of them. I like them. I mean,
much more subtle.
I feel like everybody knows their songs, but they're not something I've listened to a ton. But sometimes the way we like weave the humor into the songs is kind of like that, I would say.
I listened to some Lonely Island.
Yeah,
I got in trouble for listening to Lonely Island in high school, I think.
I think sometimes.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. No, you're good.
Oh, the band nugget was I was in a band in high school with that guy, Ricky Montgomery.
Oh, really?
So that's like, of anyone I've ever known in music, he's gone on to be the most successful. He got really popular on Vine and then was able to like level that into a music career. So
that's
we keep in touch. But yeah, we were in a band called Carpathia in high school, I think.
Wow, he's doing great. His songs have streams upon streams.
he got famous from Vine before, and he has a massive following from that and his music, and he has a band too.
Yeah, he has a band called the Honey Sticks, and now he's had the song blow up on TikTok. So
man, that's incredible.
But we were in like that band was like pretty emo, I would say. Like that was my first band ever. That music is probably online somewhere, but I don't think it's possible to find. Like, I'm not even sure I could find it.
I'd love to hear that someday.
The band was called Carpathia.
That's cool.
But anyway,
man, he's done it all.
Or the Total Delusion song.
I think I was kind of agreeing with you. I think
ATV.
I like them. They all have a special place in my heart and are important for different reasons. But And the Boys is probably.
I think the whole the whole collection like really takes some cool steps forward. Like in just a lot of different directions. Like I said, I love that break beat. I think.
Yeah, that was really fun in trying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just all the songs like push, I think, in a direction that y'all haven't quite gone. Like they all take a step, which I think is cool, and it's like exciting to hear. You know,
I think one thing that is pretty essential to our background in writing, but we don't talk about, I guess, is Aaron listens to a lot of guitar music, and I listen to a lot of like electronic music. Like he'll go like deep into like guitar. He listens to a ton of 70s rock. And I really like that stuff too, but I listen to like stuff that mostly came out in 2020 and like is like only 1,000 hertz and above, just like crazy.
I mean, we really both listen to both.
That's true.
I guess we would say that
there's definitely overlap.
Yeah,
but we're always like pushing each other in different directions, not in a combative way, but in like here I'm going to add a dash of this and that dash of that because we have different palettes.
Yeah, I definitely didn't realize how collaborative. Like I didn't realize how collaborative the process was, or even the band was. Like I guess assumed that Brady was like the one conducting things, just because I guess of just like classic like singer being the songwriter, bossy. Like yeah, and just the general demeanor of him just being so bossy all the time.
Got that arrogance about him.
He really does, man. Okay, wait. Final question from Gail was who would you get coffee with, dead or alive, if you could? Just like one person.
Oh wow. Oh man, I'm so bad at these questions.
Yeah, I'm bad at these questions too. I think I picked Brian Wilson would be who I'd pick.
Brian Wilson would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go with a musician too. I'll probably say I'll go with Paul McCartney. I was trying to pick between him and John Lennon. I feel like he'd be probably more fun. He'd probably talk to me more than John Lennon would over coffee.
Yeah, Paul would be sweet. I think he'd be pretty generous.
So you say Paul or John?
Paul.
Okay, then can we make it a group thing and I'll do John? We can just
that sounds good.
Have a group chat.
Whoa, then who gets George and who gets Ringo?
If Noah and Abe want to come along, they can. I don't know how
there's no way they're wasting
thing works.
Beatles though.
I could see Abe and Ringo having some stuff to talk about. You know,
actually, Abe's a big Paul McCartney fan.
Yeah.
Wow, he's gonna be mad that you did that to him then. Okay, here's a question for y'all. I do want to talk a little bit about And the Boys like discography, because y'all have put out, I guess, 3 before Total Delusion, 3 EPs. You have Hey Y'all, Gardens of Galacticos, and All My Troubles, right?
Yeah, they're EPs now. When we released them, they were all just singles, but we've now grouped them as EPs. But I think they actually fit pretty well. Like the first three definitely fit together.
They were made around the same time.
Yeah, the first two batches were all recorded like in the same places, like in one studio and then another studio. And then I guess actually they all work because then we probably made the last 5 ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Was there any like big intentional changes with those processes, or was it just kind of like we made some songs, we wrote some more, and you can kind of hear how they've changed over time? Or I guess switching to the home studio is probably a big step.
Yeah, I think we just started caring less. Like honestly, when we did like Purple Red, what's that one called? Garden of Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
These are retroactive names, so they're not really burned into my brain yet. I have to practice my flashcards the label gave me. I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, that was like our nicest studio time ever. Like we recorded at a smokestack, and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
But then it's a lot of pressure to like pump stuff out in a couple days, even though it's going to sound amazing. So we're just like, let's just take our time with stuff, and then we kind of figured it out, and now we can do it faster.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest marker is like just doing the home way and like having unlimited time, unlimited experimentation, and just kind of like open things up a bit more probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I definitely, would it be safe to say that the first two collections were kind of more similar, and then All My Troubles and Total Delusion were kind of a different, because like I don't know, I feel like when I heard Purple Red and songs like Take Off Your Jacket, to me it sounded like y'all were like building off of the same band who had like 21st Century Pharaoh, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think definitely.
I don't know, to me it's all pretty like fluid timeline. Like I just see it as starting off like super like guitar and like traditional, just like 4-piece band, like 2 guitars, bass and drums, and just like slowly like pushes out like further and gets like into something more I don't know. Less traditional.
Yeah, totally.
Oh God.
No, not that. Nothing that pretentious. Just like more like the lo-fi like home anything goes type thing, like pulling the samples and stuff. Like I feel like that stuff kind of like came in gradually in a way. I don't know.
For sure. We'll do what I like about I feel like Total Delusion is like, I don't know where you can go from this. Like it's such a statement. It's like, well, do you guys have any idea what you're trying to do after that? Like I want to make more songs with y'all first off, but like as just like a ATB, like is there a new direction or a new thing y'all are going towards?
I'm really excited to be releasing a single again, actually, with you. I mean, it was super fun to do that EP. Really glad we did that, and I'm like happy with how it turned out. But it's also fun to just like have another thing where it's just like one song we're completing. That's the whole statement. Just letting it fly. So,
and we'd be happy to work with you again if the streams are all right, you know.
Oh, I see what's happening. Oh man.
No, we want to keep making songs
for real
for sure. But
this song is really fun, and we want to make like 10 more exactly like it.
Yeah,
dude, me too, man. I do.
And keep wearing shirts like that because it keeps us in that mode.
This shirt.
Yeah. You had one. I think you have a similar one on the album art too.
I do. Yeah, my uncle's shirt. That's right.
It's a cool shirt.
I'm happy with those pictures too, man. I'm excited for people to see those.
They're fun.
Pretty cool.
I'm gonna post a bunch of them on my Instagram. So yeah, what about beyond that? Like, is it just like we're just gonna make more songs after that?
Yeah, probably. We don't.
Yeah.
We haven't really discussed it. Like, I feel like just by default we'll probably just go back to like making singles again, unless we feel like we have like some vision. Like, we didn't even discuss really before making that EP, other than like Brady just had like 3 demos probably that were like somewhat in a similar sonic range. So we're like, well, we're coming near the end of all of these. Why don't we just like make this an EP?
Right.
And like add a few more songs. So we don't have any plans for anything like that. So probably just singles for a while again, I'd imagine. But who knows? Maybe more collaborations.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I feel like I would love to hear collaboration.
If anybody wants to work on a song that's watching this and you've made it, however long we've been talking, like an hour.
Yeah, about an hour.
We would love to collaborate with you if you're down. You like making new stuff.
I want to hear y'all do a cover of Whenever I See Your Smiling Face, I have to smile myself because I love you. Yes. Dude, that would be so good. Like I can just hear Brady singing that. I can just hear Aaron's guitar playing it.
Yeah, it's technical song though. That's one of the reasons it's so good, because it's so tight the whole time. Like every part is so tight. That's yacht rock, baby.
We've been having a lot of debate about the definition of yacht rock lately. Even though us and a couple friends, even though I think we essentially all agree, we've been really fiercely debating it.
Who is yacht rock?
I think we all pretty much agree with the conventional definition for the most part. But we are just like fighting about
yacht rock is like James Taylor, Steely Dan, the Eagles, just like
Hall & Oates, Toto.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of like bleed over of like the 70s and 80s stuff, it seems.
Doobie Brothers?
Yeah. It's like the feel-good stuff from that time period, like super slick studio stuff.
Yeah.
Originally known as the West Coast Sound or adult-oriented rock.
It's like a retroactive definition. It wasn't a thing at the time.
That's cool, man. Yeah,
adult-oriented rock.
Yeah, it sounds like the worst form of rock. Like in the rock world, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna call this one this." Like, man, nobody would listen to that.
I hope people will refer to us from here on out as adult-oriented indie pop.
That would be awesome, dude. When did y'all meet Abe? Because he didn't go to Union.
Let's see. So I met him after moving to Nashville.
We met him through a Union connection, though. He worked at Revelator. He worked at Revelator.
Revelator.
That's right. On in Hillsborough Village.
Yeah, in Hillsborough Village. No, he works at Criminal.
I get it back.
But yeah, it was someone we went to school with. Yeah, he works at Criminal.
Wow,
that's why he couldn't make it.
That's so fly. That's so cool.
He's amazing.
Abraham's very cool.
Yeah. But we met him through Kathleen, our friend that went to Union. That's in that whole kind of like Robin J group. She introduced us to him. She's like, he plays drums.
Kathleen was living with my wife now, who I was just dating at the time, and I was at like a small house party at their house when Abraham came over. That's when I met him.
That's awesome.
Right away, I was like, this dude's cool. And then it was like a couple weeks after that or something, like he invited me and Christian to like a housewarming party at his house, and that's when I went. And I'm pretty sure that's when I asked him about playing drums, like the second time we ever hung out.
You scored big. Like, he's like the coolest dude in all of Nashville. I don't see how he's not like being taken away by some massive band. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he is in multiple bands. We're not his only one. He's in Sister Kit, very cool band.
And that's it right now, right?
That's it right now, yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
But because the other band,
he used to play. He used to play live with people back when there was live shows. He played live with people often a lot though too.
That's cool. Hey, which reminds me, when you posted about Freeze Fest 5 retroactively, like after it happened, back in October of last year, you said you were not going to play any more live shows without Z Swan. Is that still true?
We said that. I feel like a politician right now.
We would be lucky if we could get that to happen.
I love when Z. Yeah, right. I love when he played with y'all. That was awesome.
We have been wanting to do something with him. Maybe we'll need to rope both you guys in to make another song to go with this one.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I will say
he can really do that sound well.
I'd say we'll definitely try to keep involving Z in the live show. We have a whole new batch of songs that, like, because of the circumstances, we haven't even had to think about playing live. So
yeah, right. Yeah,
that is what our setup will be.
Don't ask us to play a show ever again because we don't know what we would do.
I feel like I'm.
Bro, I would press play on Spotify on stage.
If you ask us to play a show, you're going to raise our blood pressure dangerously.
Freeze Fest 5 was like a really different sound for what I heard do live, but then now also looking back, it's like super dated compared to what y'all do now. Like, I'm like, whoa, y'all were still super rock back then. Like, even at that show, I'm like, man, that's old news. Like, I bet if y'all did play a show today, it would sound totally different.
Yeah,
we have no idea what we were going to do.
I really don't know.
Well, you're off the hook.
We might just still play like the old songs that we can play with guitar and drums. Like,
right.
Come to an And the Boys show and hear no songs off Total Delusion.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta hear And the Boys though. I want to hear that song live so bad, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll try to do something with those songs eventually, but
yeah,
we'll see. It'll be a whole new world.
I like what you and Bryce were talking about David Byrne, about his like philosophy about that, about how, is that who it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about how like a song is different in every performance, including the recording. It's definitely going to be a lot of that when we go to play these songs live. It's going to be a different experience, surely.
Man, that's so sick.
By necessity.
I can't wait for that moment, man.
Yeah,
that's gonna be cool. Well, is there anything else y'all got lined up, or anything else y'all want to plug or try or announcing besides just go listen to Total Delusion and hear our new song when it comes out? And
yeah, hold on to your pants.
Hold on to your pants. Hashtag Martyverse on TikTok.
Oh no. Now that's damaging info.
Word, man. Well, I guess that's it, man. I appreciate y'all coming on and talking. I hope we can do it again sometime, especially there's a lot more I want to talk to you guys about, and especially if you have a new song to promote or something, we can come and hang again.
Of course, man. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
They don't want to hear this stuff. That's business.
We'll be talking to you very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
About the release of this song. Very imminent.
Yes, I cannot wait. Let me know when we get the release date locked down.
We will let you know for sure, man.
Cool. Peace out.
See y'all.
Peace out.
See you later.
See ya.